What's up, you guys? Slasher Movie Reviews here. I am so excited because I always love this time of the year. This is the time of the year where I get to count down the best and the worst and the most anticipated. And the first one we're going to be doing today is of my favorite genre out there, horror. So here are the top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2016. Now, before we begin, I have to shout out a disclaimer. I am from the US, so I am going off of movies that are scheduled to be released in 2016 in the US. So, if you don't live in the US, who knows, you may have already seen these films or might have to wait longer to see these films. Please keep in mind this is the horror movie genre, so a lot of these movies are subject to change. They might not even come out in 2016, but right now they're scheduled for it, so therefore it matters right now in this moment. Now, of course, before we get into the top 10 list, let me shout out a few honorable mentions. These are films that I'm really looking forward to, but just didn't quite make the list. Those films are There Are Monsters, The Purge 3, The Disappointment Room, The Strangers 2, and of course, The Forest. So now, onto the list. So starting the list off at number 10, I have Viral, which comes from those two guys who gave us Paranormal Activity 3. They're making another horror movie, you guys. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to this movie. It follows this young woman who's documenting her new life when she got sent to quarantine because a virus broke out and it also infected her sister. So I'm sort of expecting a more mainstream version of Maggie that came out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie comes out February 19th, so until I see a trailer, I can't fully make any final judgments, but that's what I'm expecting, and that kind of excites me. My number 9 film is Regression, and yes, this was on last year's list, but unfortunately this movie got pushed to 2016, and I'm still really looking forward to this movie. I really like the cast of Ethan Hawke and Emma Watson, and I love the director of The Others. Very fantastic film. And so I'm still really looking forward to this movie, you guys. And I think the plot line of a man committing a crime he has no memory of committing just sounds really interesting. So I'm still looking forward to this movie, and I'll still probably be looking forward to it if they pushed it to 2017. Coming in at number 8, I have A Man in the Dark. Now, this movie comes out August 2016, and I'm really excited to see this movie because it comes from Fede Alvarez, who gave us that awesome remake of Evil Dead. Well, I think it's awesome, and I don't care what other people say. I love that movie. And it also stars Mia from that film, Jane Levy. They're teaming back up again, and it follows a group of teenagers who break into a blind man's house. But of course, this is a horror movie, and bad things, of course, start to happen. We don't know much about this film. I don't know if it's going to be like a gory film like Evil Dead, or if it's going to be a straight-up horror, what type of vibe they're going for. I'm just really looking forward to it because it's Fede Alvarez and Jane Levy, and there's a lot of great pieces here that could just make a really awesome horror movie. Now, there's not much I can say about my number 7 film, Hush, because there are no plot details, no release date, but according to its director, Mike Flanagan, it is scheduled to come out at some point in 2016, and I don't care. I don't need to know anything. I love Mike Flanagan. I love what he did with Absentina and Oculus, and the merits of those films alone has me super excited to see Hush. In my number 6 spot, you guys, I have Patient Zero, which is scheduled to come out September 2nd. Now look, you guys, you have a horror movie with Natalie Dormer, Stanley Tucci, and Matt Smith. How can you not be interested in this movie, you guys? Just the cast alone just has me so glued to this project, you guys. And just, wow. And I kind of actually like the plot line to this movie. It follows basically a global epidemic has happened, and turning, of course, majority of humans into some sort of infected species, zombies, I don't know, but they have a language, and one man has learned to speak that language, and they think with him knowing this language, they're going to be able to find a cure. Sounds interesting to me. We're halfway there, you guys, and at number 5, I have Before I Wake, which is scheduled to come out April 8th of 2016, and I don't want to repeat myself, but I love Mike Flanagan, and yes, this movie was supposed to come out in 2015, and I was really bummed out when I heard that it wasn't going to make its release date, but I'm still really looking forward to checking it out in 2016. The trailer just looked amazing to me, you guys. I love the trailer for this movie, and the plot line about a young boy's nightmares coming to life when he goes to sleep sounds really interesting, and I like how they're viewing this kid as a normal kid and not some type of like crazy kid from like The Ring or something like that. He's just a normal kid who's afraid to go to sleep because he's afraid of what he might dream. Just such an interesting premise there, and I'm really excited to see this movie finally. Coming in at number 4, I have The Woods, which comes from Adam Wingard. And let me tell you guys, I'm a little bit of an Adam Wingard fanboy. Now, this movie doesn't have a release date for 2016, but it is listed under a 2016 released film, so we're going to go with it. I'm going to read you what the plot line of IMDb says this movie's about. It says it involves a group of college students on a camping trip who discover they are not alone. That's a lie. I'm telling you right now, this is a joke. This is a joke of a plot line. They made this plot line up at work as the most basic and simple thing around the office just so they can hide the fact that there's a lot more to this movie than meets the eye. I'm already calling it, this is Another Year Next. It's Another Year Next, and as a Adam Wingard fanboy, I couldn't be even more excited. In my number 3 spot, you guys, I have the only sequel on this entire list, and that is The Conjuring 2, The Enfield Poltergeist, which is scheduled to come out June 10th of 2016, you guys. Oh my goodness, there are so many reasons to be excited about this movie. 1, it's a sequel to The Conjuring, which terrified me, you guys. 2, the true story about that this movie is based on is really, really interesting, and there's a lot of great directions and a lot of things to explore with it. 3, Patrick Wilson and Via frickin' Farmiga are coming back, but 4 is the most important reason of all. James motherfucking Wan. James Wan is returning as director, and that man gets hard. He knows how to scare an audience, and I cannot wait to see this movie with the crowd. It's gonna be so awesome. And my second most anticipated horror movie of 2016 is The Neon Demon, and I hope I don't butcher his name, which comes from Nicholas Winding Refn. I hope I didn't butcher that. The cast for this movie is stacked. I mean, you have Keanu Reeves, you have Jenna Malone, you have Ellie Fanning. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's other people in this movie, and it follows about this model named Jessie, who's basically being tormented by other young girls because they want what Jessie has. And I'm really excited to see what Nicholas does with this, especially saying that he's always wanted to make a horror movie. So I'm excited to see his viewpoint on horror, and it's Nicholas Winding Refn. So even if you hate this movie, you're going to have a lot of reasons to hate it, and if you love this movie, it's going to have a lot of reasons to love it. So there's so much to expect with this movie and to not expect that I'm excited to see this movie. Now, it currently does not have a release date, at least I couldn't find one, but it is still scheduled to come out sometime in 2016. And my most anticipated horror movie of 2016 is The Witch. Look, you guys, the moment that I saw that trailer, I immediately wanted to stop everything that I was doing and go watch this movie. It just looked beautiful and haunting and just disturbing at the same time. It just looks amazing. The trailer for this movie is just fantastic, and I've only seen it twice because I said I'm not going to watch it again until I see the movie. I just want to be fully scared and engrossed in this movie, you guys. It just looks absolutely amazing, and thank God it comes out February 26th, so therefore we don't have to wait much longer for this movie, and that is why The Witch is my most anticipated horror movie of 2016. So there you have it, you guys. Those were my top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2016. What'd you think of my list? What movies are you really looking forward to in 2016? Let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, you guys, I'm the Slash Movie Reviewer, and you guys have just been slashed.